Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a good week. So this is the last intake manifold video I'm going to do of this intake manifold before I mail it to Big Dog's Porting in Illinois to have all the custom work done on it. I was going to do this video just to explain what and why we're doing it and pretty much the final plan. So as you can see, Offenhauser dual port intake. The way it's designed, you have to mount the carburetor like this, primary and secondary here, because the ports are actually split and the plenum's divided per port. So small plenum, small ports for the primary, large plenum, well, large-ish plenum and large-ish ports for the secondary. On an Econoline van, I've got 1 1/4 inches of clearance between the edge of the intake and the body. So even with an Edelbrock, the throttle linkage will be a nightmare, and with a Holly, or like I'm running, an Autolite 4100, it's just not going to work. So the solution is to mount the carburetor like this. The way I've got my linkage won't be a big deal. The Autolite 4100 won't have any of this on it. It'll just have an electric choke. So this is ideally what you would want. Well, that's not really going to work because of, you having to have primaries here, secondaries here. So I got this intake really cheap on Facebook Marketplace. So I think it's dual port offies are not all that great. They were made during the gas crunch. They were supposed to be for economy and whatnot. And I guess there's some value there if you're just wanting a 4-barrel to physically bolt to your engine. That's about all you can say for it. I want to see how good we can make this intake, and I've gotten a couple ideas from some viewers and some ideas I'm going to try. But basically what the first thing they're going to do is they're going to flow bench this thing as it sits. I think actually with a core Autolite 4100 that I'm having sent to them, they'll flow bench it. We'll get CFM, per port or however they do it, and we're going to see how it flows stock. Then this plenum is getting completely milled out, pretty much like a single plane. Even the wall down here is going to get milled completely to the bottom, all of it. It's going to be wide open. So both plenums will be combined and it will be an open plenum. So that'll get opened up and they'll clean and dress whatever they need to help airflow. Then on this side, I got an idea from a viewer. It's actually a good idea and it makes sense. It's apparently to do with these intakes on Mopars. I'm assuming he's probably talking small block Chrysler or maybe slant 6. But these dividers, so this is your small port for the small plenum on the primary and large port for larger plenum and secondary. Well, since that'll all be open, they'll both be operating as one, but he suggested, apparently it was a write-up on it, you cut these back 1 inch and then bevel everything and dress it, because this bottom port will still be running at a higher velocity and it will help pull the charge, I guess, via scavenging through that. And that actually makes a lot of sense. So I will probably have these cut back 1 inch, and then they're going to do a full port job in the whole thing. So the whole thing's going to get ported. So the plenum is going to get completely opened up, all smoothed out, a full port job. The dividers cut back 1 inch, everything ported and smoothed out, all nice. And then I have a plate coming from a guy that does mostly Chevrolet inline 6 stuff. It's an adapter that'll go on this that will mount the carburetor inline on top of this flange. So, it's a 4-barrel to 4-barrel, but it's 3/4 of an inch thick, and we'll mount the carburetor inline. And then after all that is done, we're going to flow bench it again and just see how much it can be improved. And then it'll get sandblasted and it'll be all pretty. And I think it's going to be a pretty good intake, especially for what I paid for it. And it'll be interesting to see taking a really bad intake and making it really good. That's pretty much all I like doing on the channel, is taking stuff that most people would throw away or not want and make it as good as we can make it. Just out of curiosity to see how good it's going to be. So that's the final plan. Just wanted to touch base. Y'all have a good week. I'm going to try to put out another video later this week talking about the camshaft. There's a development on that. I talked to Ken at Delta today, and he actually suggested a different grind than the other grind that I wanted, because I trust him. I'm just reading off of cam cards and what in the description sounds like what I need, but a real cam guy will actually know where there's power to be had and what's perfect for your application. So I'm really excited to share about the cam that they have chose for me. I think that's potentially going to be another 15 to 20 horsepower I can get out of this engine without being detrimental to any low-end torque. In fact, probably have better torque and work better with a stock converter in 308 gear. So stay tuned for that, and I will see y'all later. See ya.